Hi, this is my second time doing chapter 9. Because I talk too much, so this time I'll try not to say too much so that it's not too long, so that it fits in YouTube, because they have a limit on how much you can talk. I bet you're happy about that, huh? Okay, so this is chapter 9, market research. First thing we're going to go over is the the role of marketing research. So marketing research is a process of planning, collecting, analyzing data relevant to a marketing decision. So if you want to decide on a new marketing plan or marketing strategy for a new product or a current product, market research would give you an insight as to whether that plan may or may not be successful. You do this because it's much less expensive to do research as opposed to actually launching a plan, launching a marketing strategy, and having it fail. You lose money, you lose resources, you also lose time, and you lose revenue that would have been gotten had the marketing strategy been successful. So you do this by linking the consumer, customer, and public to the marketer through information, which provides data on effective marketing mix and insight for necessary changes. Okay. Descriptive is gathering and presenting factual statements. What's the historic sales trend in the industry? What are consumers' attitudes toward the product? Now, this is fine as long as nothing's changed. However, like this COVID-19 coronavirus has changed many things. So webcams are all sold out because people are working from home. Even connecting wires are sold out because people are hooking their computers up to an external monitor. External monitors are sold out because people need two monitors to work at home. Um, Restaurants, of course, are almost extinct unless they have drive up delivery, something like that, where they can keep things going. Fast food, of course, still has the drive through, so that was the bulk of their sales to begin with. Whereas Applebee's or other types of restaurants like that, they did have drive up or delivery with Grubhub or something like that, but it was very minimal. Pizza, that's a lot of delivery, so they're still doing okay for the most part, unless they're like the new pizza or the pizza place that's over across from Santa Fe in Ada, where they didn't have delivery, so they're not doing very well. So it's only historic if nothing major has changed. If something major has changed, like the shutdown of the economy, and we have 10 million people now unemployed, or 11.6 million, but 10 million new people unemployed in the past 2 weeks, that's um, catastrophic for most of the retail. So that changed everything. Okay. To give you an idea of the historic reference, um, last week we had 3.3 million people file for unemployment for the first time. This week, it's reported Thursday mornings at 8:30. This week, we had 6.6 million file for first time unemployment. Before this, the record for the most people ever filing for unemployment in 1 week was 695,000, and that was in 1982. And in 2009, uh, the most we had was 665,000, which was the second highest. So the second highest was 665,000. The highest was 695,000 until last week when we hit 3.3 million. So 5 times what the old record was. And then this week, 6.6 million. So we doubled last week's. So we're not even in the same stratosphere as what it was before. So many things have changed, in other words. Okay, so it's no longer predictive. You have to do what if questions. Right now, it'd be a lot of brainstorming to see because we're in a completely different environment. Um, you use it to improve quality of decision making. So you try to walk through the process using data through your market research to try and figure out which strategy would be successful. Ever changing. Um, it has an example here about the hottest trends in technology. Again, we just went over that. So next would be steps in marketing project research. And here's a little chart that's also in your book, a little model for the marketing research process. So the first one is identify and formulate the problem opportunity. So this COVID-19, of course, has dramatic consequences. From a marketing standpoint, it has a tremendous opportunity for webcams, for facial masks. Now that they're asking some places, like in New York City, to wear a mask when you go outside. It has opportunities for anything that has to do with working from home. It has opportunities for, of course, delivery. It has opportunities for any type of home entertainment, streaming. All the movies that were supposed to come out, you now have the opportunity to actually have them go through Disney or Apple TV, something like that, where they could boost huge revenues, huge viewerships uh, with people at home binge watching and things like that. So there's opportunities with this as well as many, many tragedies. Um, Number two is plan the research, design, and gather secondary data. So gathering secondary data is something that's already been published. So you could go through the census, you could go through research that's been published, literature that's been published, articles, journals that have been published, and try to gather up the information that has been previously researched, and then create your research design for your primary data that you're trying to do here. Specify the sampling procedures. Are you going to do a survey? Are you going to do observation? What type of method are you going to use to gather your primary data? Then you collect the data, primary data, you analyze it, you prepare and present your report, and then you follow up to see if your research proves out when it's actually implemented. Okay, and that goes through this whole process. And here's a chart to have traditional forms of survey research that you can do. Of course, you've all done surveys before. So let's just go down here to the next one. Okay, so here's something that you would do for your presentation if you're researching popcorn. Popcorn cross-tabulation of gender. So Orville Redenbacher, 46% of 48% of females like Orville Redenbacher, 31% of males do. And then TV time is 6 and 12. Pop rate is 4 and 38. Act 2, 23 and 7. Weight Watchers is 18 and 4. And then others, females do not like others. They only like those. Weight Watchers Act 2, Pop rate TV time. And of course, Orville Redenbacher is the most popular. And males like 8% of the others. So that would be something that you'd see in a presentation. Okay. So the next section here is the profound impact of internet on marketing research. So most American marketing research companies conduct some form of online research because it's less expensive, it's much faster, and it's much more reliable because more people will actually do it versus telephone versus mail surveys versus door to door, which nobody, of course, now with COVID-19 will open their door to anybody. And it's very fast. You can send it out to 1 million people, and hopefully they can respond within 24 hours. And if you get 1% of 1 million people, you've got a great survey result. Okay. You can do online focus groups, especially now where online is the way to communicate with people. So you could do it through FaceTime or Zoom or some other method, and to do some focus groups. The advantage also with online focus groups is they could be in different geographic locations, just like we're in different geographic locations. So you're not hampered by getting people together when they can be in all the different places around the world. Um, Benefits, of course, it's cost effective, establishes brand advocates, offers real-time results. So the growing importance of mobile research, with everyone having a phone, it's fast, it's easy, you can track people. It's a very small amount of time. It has to be very quick, and it has to have very little memory so that all phones could handle it. Then you have scanner-based research, and this is for neuromarketing, studies the body's responses to different market stimuli. This is why Burger King makes sure that at 11 o'clock they start broiling, fire grilling their burgers so that the aroma of the grilled burgers fills the air all around, and you can smell it blocks and blocks away, so that you get hungry for hamburgers from Burger King. And then, when should market research be conducted? Depends on the manager's perception of its quality, price, and timing. When the expected value of the research information exceeds the cost of generating the information. So if it's very inexpensive to do market research compared to actually doing the market strategy, implementing it, then you should do it. If the marketing strategy is very inexpensive to do it, excuse me, like an online program where you just on a mobile ad advertising a different special product. Again, if you're doing fast food or pizza or something like that, where you can do a different one each day, then there's no point in doing market research when it's less expensive just to send out um, text messages about the different specials that you're having that day. Customer relationship management, described as closed loop systems that build relationships with customers. It's on Exhibit 9.7. So if we go down here, and here's Exhibit 9.7. So you identify the customer relationships, you understand the interaction with the current customer's base, you capture the customer's database on interactions, excuse me, store and integrate customer data using information technology, identify best customers, and then leverage the customer information to then identify a customer relationship in its big circle. Okay. This is also found in your book, this model here. And lastly is competitive intelligence, helps managers assess their competition and vendors in order to become more efficient and effective. Competitor, it can help identify the advantage and play a major role in determining how it is achieved. Okay, so you have to actually outmaneuver your competitor, and usually you would help have the vendors to assist you. Right now, it would be inventory. It's extremely difficult to get inventory. The humorous product right now is toilet paper. Nobody can find toilet paper, and they're limiting how much toilet paper you can purchase. So if you had a vendor that had an unlimited supply of toilet paper, then you would have an enormous amount of sales revenues because you'd have an unlimited inventory. However, that doesn't seem to be the case with anyone. If it did, then they would be marketing toilet paper as much as you want to purchase. And then we have the key terms. And that's the end, chapter 9. I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week with chapter 10.